Hi.
Hey, we ready?
I'm ready. Me and my kid headphones are ready. It's actually sound
Perfect.
nice. But hi. Hey.
Hey. All right. Well,
Welcome to Enneagram Adventure, where we decide on a
yeah,
topic 2 minutes before we start talking. Hey. And I wear
that
kid
is true.
headphones when my AirPods aren't behaving, and I'm using Holly's mic because my mic took a shit. And there's a
That's
time
something.
change. There's daylight savings, and my tiny humans are wreaking havoc.
Yeah, because this is not the right time.
Ugh.
Also, this time change, I know a lot of people like it because it's fall back and you get an extra hour of sleep. But for me, I saw this meme. I shared it, I think, on my Instagram today. But it's like, welcome to daylight savings, where the sun comes up at 7
Yeah.
and
And sets at
like something,
5:30.
it's right, but it feels like midnight.
Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
It is stupid.
I saw a thing on the internet that was like, that was my emotional support hour of sunlight. And I resonate. That hit.
Yeah. I tend to be a morning person, but I still would rather have the extra light in the afternoon because that's when we do stuff.
I know. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So,
Well, if you cut any of it
okay.
out, what we were talking about was when people hear this, you'll be in Spain or fresh back from Spain.
Yeah.
How exciting.
Yeah. So that's exciting. It's exciting. It is. We'll have to debrief
Um,
that when we get back. It'll be another one of those like slightly off topic podcasts for sure.
Very exciting though.
But Tana already wrapped us in of welcome to Enneagram Adventure, but a quick reminder on who Tana and I are and why you should care what we have to say. And maybe you don't care what we have to say, that's fine too. But Tana and I are both IEQ 9 certified coaches with that Enneagram tool. And so this is our podcast where we chat about things through the lens of the Enneagram, personal development, life. We tell stories. We talk about our kids. We talk about triathlon, running, all through the lens of the Enneagram.
I have nothing to add besides I am very happy to be here and you should care what we have to say. If you don't, respectfully F off. Okay?
And everybody turns the podcast off, right? Click.
Or you're like, yeah, I'm
Kidding.
freaking
Kidding.
in. I am in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to tee us up to the topic today? We were both like, this goes to my theme for the week. Guys, I'm convinced that there's like an ability that is happening. My ear is doing this thing at a very specific time of day. And I'm very curious if it is the world trying to tell me something. But I came into this podcast, like I said, 2 minutes before. We don't talk about this shit in advance. And I was like, what if we talk about avoidance? And Holly's like, I sent you this thing.
Yes.
Eerily
Yeah.
similar. Eerily similar.
It was very, very similar. The thing I sent her was a reel from this therapist who talks about building capacity. That's kind of her whole thing. She sort of rails against the overuse of therapy speak in the world and different things like that. But yeah, she was really talking about in that reel this idea of how we use this idea of protecting ourselves in a way that's not actually helpful. That goes to that place of avoidance. Where are you putting up walls? Where are you avoiding tough conversations? Where are you avoiding the hard personal work? Right? And are you framing that up as protection because of the discomfort you're going to feel if you start to dive into these things? Yeah. So it's a very similar idea. I do think there is something happening in the collective energy of the world, but I can't necessarily put my finger on it. I don't have ringing ears, but we did talk about my twitchy eyes, so who knows. Anyway, so we're going to try to talk through this avoidance protection idea through the lens of each Enneagram number and what your type might be avoiding or might be protecting.
I feel like I do that a
Protecting
lot.
from. Yeah.
That's why you're here. That's why I go tootle over to you and I'm like, this thing really pissed me off. And you're like, do you see yourself in that? I'm like, oh,
You're like, I hate you right now.
really fucking hate you right now. Maybe.
It's fine. We all have those moments. I recently was
Um,
informed how not normal I am. That's like a whole different thing to unpack at a different day.
I mean, join the club. Who's normal?
Who's normal?
It's not fun to be
It
normal
had to do it has to do with my personal capacity for discomfort is why I was called out as not normal.
because you have a high
So,
capacity for discomfort.
correct.
Interesting.
Trauma response. But like I said, we
Well,
can unpack that on a different day.
it's Brandon used to tell me that in sessions because it's hard to believe that other people can't sustain the same amount where like chaos feels very normal for me. I think
Yeah,
we talked about this on the podcast at one point. I don't remember, but like
maybe we did.
I it's like I seek chaos or I seek some sort of like I
Yeah.
go for a promotion when I have no business going for a promotion. That kind of chaos. Not like unhealthy
Okay.
chaos, but like
Not unhealthy chaos. Mine, I think, is what was called out to me recently was the idea around like I don't allow myself to have outs. And
yeah.
I was told that that's like abnormal. And I was like, "Really?"
Yeah.
Oh. And I was like, that's just I don't think about it that way. I just never question.
Yeah. That's
So I just
weird.
there are things like yeah, like where I don't like it doesn't resonate with me the same. I don't know. I might cut that out. We'll see.
Leave it in just because you said that. I might cut that. We don't edit this.
I mean, we added a little bit.
Yeah, it's mostly a raw shit show. But I'm trying to think of an example recently where I avoided some. Well, first of all, this half marathon, the second half marathon, the weather. Eh, yuck. Yuck. Like sleeting, snowing. Cool. Great. Great.
This is what makes that one hard for me to sign up for. Now, granted, I'm going to be out of the country this time, but I try to explain this to people. I'm like, this one, the weather for this one, like at like
Ew.
November, mm, it can be real bad.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. So I've like already told myself however many times I'm like, do I do it?
Yeah.
Do I have to do it? I already did one.
No, you're gonna do
I
it.
did
You're
it.
still gonna
I
do
know I'm
it.
gonna fucking do it. I just have to negotiate with myself and then get to that
You
point of
do.
like, you're gonna fucking do it.
It's always a good story though. Whenever the weather is like total shit, it always makes for like the war story from the race and a little bit of like it's a little more badass to have done it when the weather was shit than to have done it when the weather was perfect.
Tell me about that high capacity for discomfort again. Tell me about that. Were you gonna cut that part out? She was
No.
just in case she cut it out. In case she talked about a high
I'm
capacity for
just
discomfort.
I'm just saying I'm trying to motivate you. I'm trying to appeal to your three side here
I
about how
know I'm gonna do it.
okay. Well, now you have another reason why you have to because it's going to be a good story.
Fine.
Also, you can be motivated to run faster so you can avoid the sleet. Maybe it won't come until later. That's what happened last year. Last year, the half marathon people made it before it started raining, and then it was just the people who had to run the full marathon who got like freezing cold rain on them.
Can't wait. It's gonna be fucking
Yeah.
electric.
Okay.
So
Anyway,
anyway,
let's
avoidance
avoid
and or capacity. Well, this
it's a
is a
great
little bit like
topic.
with my with my type it's easy. With twos it feels like the therapy speak is like get a boundary. Don't take everything on. Like that's the over repetition that happens at least for my number, which correct.
But what they're, I
But
mean,
that doesn't mean that I avoid people who I know are going to ask me for, you know what I mean? The
right.
growth is you spend time with those people. Or if people are asking you for like things that doesn't make sense. I relate it to like family. Like Brandon told me at one point, like, okay, we're at a point where you do realize like you have to spend more time with this situation, right? And I'm like, ugh, you want me to what?
I think that's a little of like where the avoidance is. Do you think for twos though, sometimes the like they're diving in, they're helping, they've attached so much of their identity and value to this like I have to do this for people to love me, that like what they're actually avoiding is sitting in the discomfort of who they are without being the helper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a little bit of an insatiable thing, is the best way that I can describe it, because I'm still working through a lot of it. It's the like sitting at an event, and let's say somebody else is hosting, and let's say everyone has just eaten, right? And the desire to start collecting everyone's plates and like take them to the sink and like clean up the like that, it's like an itch that I can't scratch if I sit down and don't do it, because I feel like a rude person.
So like the challenge for you would be to sit down and let someone else do it.
Yeah.
Do we have a recent example of this?
Besides,
I
every
feel like this
time
is a
I'm at someone's house,
I was like, I feel like this is a lived experience.
it's like but
Of
then
like,
like I get this fucking like weird anxiety when I leave and I'm in the car and I'm like, oh my God, I was totally like all up in their shit and like trying to like take control and try. Stop. Just stop. The the thing that could like maybe get me there is like if I off like, can I help you? Actually, no, I want you to sit down and like actually listen to that
yeah,
directive instead of being like, no, 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 you stop it. Move over. Give me those rubber gloves. I'm going to do these dishes for you, okay? You have a seat.
no. Yeah, I think that's part of it too, right? Like when somebody tells you, like, no, I got it, to just be like, okay, I trust you.
Yeah, okay. It's the,
Yeah,
okay, if you have to offer, offer. But if they say no, then like actually listen.
right.
Because I have someone in my life right now that's going through like a thing. She's not a talker about it, like, does not want you to come over and chill with her on the couch and make her feel better about it. She wants to withdraw, and I am crawling out of my skin.
We know this person's number.
No, I would guess she's a 4. That would be my
Okay.
guess. So she like the desire for me. So I actually did do a thing today. I texted her and I was like, "Hey, I don't want to overwhelm you. I just want, and please don't feel like you have to respond. I just want you to know I'm thinking of you." And I left it.
Yeah,
And I meant
yeah,
it. I was like, "You don't have to, but I need you to know that I care."
right. Well, I think that part of it is important. I am a believer in, if you're thinking about someone, you should let them know you're thinking about them.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah, I think that's important just for like basic human connection, especially in a world that's very disconnected.
I also
Yeah.
did drop flowers on her porch with magnesium lotion and shower steamers. Fuck. Fuck.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
In all fairness, I did run away.
You like doorbell
I
ditched her.
didn't wait there. I didn't show up uninvited.
Oh, does this person listen to the podcast?
I don't know if she does or not. I don't know. She definitely sees my like highlights that I repost, the reels and stuff. Oh, you guys. It's bad. This nurturing side of me that like I just can't. I can't.
Well, what do you think you are avoiding by the fact that you can't put that down?
I'm avoiding like letting someone be unhappy and just
Here we go.
like not fixing it. It's selfish on my part, mostly. Like, yes, I want that person to feel better, but by them being so unhappy, it makes me so sad,
Well, how is that of benefit to you?
because then I don't feel sad.
Like by comparison?
Like, no, just like
You
I snapped him out of it even for just a minute.
Oh, I see what you're saying. When you fix it for them,
Yeah, 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 I'm
you
fixing
mean.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was
No,
interpreting
no,
that the
no,
wrong way. I
no.
was like, I don't
No.
understand.
No, no, no. I fix
Yeah,
it.
you fixed it.
Yeah, but I didn't. It's wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
So that's mine for the most part.
I'm not sure we're going to make it through all 9 numbers, so if we don't, we'll have to revisit this topic. But
Why does this happen
we can
to
talk
us
about
every time we're like, I don't know if we'll be able to riff on that for an hour.
Yes, I know. Then we do. Or whatever. It
Fine,
is what it
whatever.
is. This one I'm not I'm not sure. I don't think we're gonna make it through all 9 unless we start running. But the thing I think about with fives in terms of what they're avoiding and what they need to build capacity for is feeling. There is an element of it, and I think fives are not the only number, so maybe there's a way that we can like talk about multiple numbers who tend to avoid feelings, but it's one of the like hallmark kind of things about fives, and I've actually been finding myself like a little put off by some Enneagram content creators stuff about fives lately, and I think it's because I'm doing so much work related to the feeling. But when it was like, there was one where it was like a haunted house for every number, but then it's like a haunted house, but for the fives, it was like just people who want to talk about feelings, or no, people who want to ask you about your feelings. And I was like, well,
I
we could
don't
go
think
in many
that's
different
true for
directions.
a 5, though.
Yeah, I'm having a few of these things where like some of these stereotypical things they say about fives are not resonating with me, that being one of them. But I can say that I do logic away feelings very quickly. So when I have a feeling, I very often like have a feeling and then immediately turn it to thought. I do think that fives are with the sort of I want to be really logical. I want to show up like very level, very this, very that. Some of it is an avoidance and the discomfort of feeling.
I was just gonna say, when we talk about how you're feeling, generally speaking, you've thought about it even for a moment, so it comes out as a thought.
Yeah.
Even like, I'm thinking I felt this way because.
It's very difficult for me not to take it and immediately make it a thought and immediately not analyze it or logic it away. The example I most often use, and I know I've used it on past episodes of the podcast, is when my grandma passed away. Rather than allowing myself like the full range of the emotion of she just passed away and you're allowed to be sad about that and like cry and whatever else, I immediately was like, okay, I'm sad about that. But she lived a really great life. She was in her 90s. She was old. It's fine. This was expected. Do you know what I mean? Like immediately, like it happens very quickly. Like I start to feel the feeling, and then my brain goes, but here's all the reasons why you don't need to feel that way.
That's, I mean, shit, that's a gift for me. I'm stuck in the goddamn wave pool of feelings, just being sloshed around by water
I
wings.
think I think in some ways it can be a gift because if there's something that's particularly has a lot of emotion tied to it, but in a way that can be like think like an emergent situation or like an accident or like something like that. Like I can very easily logic my way through that moment to like get to the other side of it and not get caught in like the feeling associated. But the issue is that then there are times where that feeling doesn't ever actually get felt all the way. Thus, now 2+ years of work with Brandon to like learn how to actually feel the things and understand that processing the emotion, processing the feeling, acknowledging the feeling is very important rather than, well, logically, here's all the things, so if that feeling is stupid, right? It's the this is it has is a different way for me to collect information. Like I've had to create a capacity and I've had to like learn like this is a different way for me to have information that I need. Spoken like a true five. But I think too, there also this goes back to the capacity side of feeling, and this is a weird example. But you know, like when you resist a feeling, you make it worse. So when you're like,
Yeah.
I can't feel sad, I can't feel that. Now, this is like a not feeling sad, but what was it? Maybe 6 weeks ago, I had some sort of weird stomach bug or food poisoning. I don't know which one it was. And it's, I don't know, 2 a.m. I don't know what time it was, middle of the night. And I've just gotten done being violently ill and vomiting, whatever. And I'm laying on the couch and I'm thinking to myself, I just don't want to feel this way anymore. This feels terrible. I feel so sick. This is the worst ever. And I like laid there and I was like, it does you no good to sit here and wish you didn't feel like this. You feel like this right now. Just feel like this. It'll be over. Like tomorrow, you'll feel better. Stop like wishing it like you could feel better right this second. And even in just like that moment of just being like, well, this is the reality of the situation that I'm in, and like holding the capacity for my own discomfort in that way of like, this is where we are right now, so just be here. I actually felt better. Like stopping resisting, stopping wishing it away made it better. I don't know if that makes sense.
Definitely does. It's the what I'm curious about it is that again it goes back to that high capacity for discomfort. Like you logicked your way through the fact that you were uncomfortable.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Like this is just be here. Just be here now. Just be in the
Like,
feeling that you have right now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. God, I remember being forced into that situation when we had newborn children, specifically my oldest who wouldn't sleep. And like, this has to end. Like, he'll turn 18 someday, and then it's gonna end, right? Like, fuck.
The 24-hour stomach bug is not quite the same as that, but yeah, I mean, kind of.
Oh my God. Like, you're just in the pit of misery, and you're just trying to, like, grasp on to, like, anything to be like, this is temporary. Everything in life is temporary.
Well, do we think, I mean, if you think about it though, so we've kind of talked a little 5, a little 2. You could attach the feeling thing to 3s or 8s,
Hmm.
7s. But do you think that when every type is avoiding, that it is in part like their own resistance? Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm trying to get at?
I would say obviously depends on the situation. I don't know if it's always resistance or if it's wishful thinking. Like life is
Yeah.
painful. Like there's ups and downs. There's however cliche you want to talk about it, right? No one enjoys getting thrown uncomfortable curveballs. But what was interesting about what you just said, though, is if I think about it, 8, because they avoid feelings, right?
Right.
At least in my husband's case, it's not I'm gonna think about the thing, like the feeling. I'm gonna action it away. It's like how you're treating the symptom of what you're trying to
Yeah.
avoid is tied to your core motivation of your number, right?
Yes. Yes, you said that very well. Yeah, I think that's exactly it, right? So, you know, I talked about I logic the feeling away. To your point, the 8's gonna action it away. It's gonna go do something, go work, like could be work, could be running, could
Troll
be whatever.
something.
Troll. Yeah, or yeah, take control of a situation. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
go clean the garage or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm. Someday I'll take you on a tour of my walk-in closet. You very clearly see the equator between my husband's perfectly lined up clothing and mine. That is not perfect in any way, shape, or form. I still have a laundry basket full of Goodwill stuff I got to take there. There is an equator. The man controls everything in his life because he feels he can't
Yes.
control a very significant aspect of his life at work.
I've heard that from another 8, a very similar thing, that people would misinterpret her behavior as one behavior because she keeps her house perfect, but it is not one behavior. It is 8 control. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When everything around them is falling apart, they find something they can control.
Yes.
We'll have to
Yes.
ask Casey about that sometime in the future, or if we get another 8 on the podcast, about how, if that kind of perfectionist stuff shows up as a form of control for them.
The 1-to-1 8 that you and I both know, I bet she would say that she has control over how she is seen.
Like the vanity part is what she controls.
Yeah.
So it's like the idea of controlling other people's perception of her.
Right. Right.
Ooh. Hmm. I know she sometimes listens to us. I don't know how often these days, but I would challenge that idea because you really cannot control somebody's perception of you. Not even a little tiny bit.
Nope. I think it's a feeling. I've debated this with her before. I'm like, you know that you controlling the vanity is you having a feeling about first not having that control, but then feeling like you got it. And she said she gets like a high from like if she gets the thing that she wants. She's redoing her basement right now. Like when that's done, she sent her husband to Costco on a Saturday because they're getting a wine wall in their basement. She sent the man to go get all the wine for the goddamn wine wall.
Costco?
See,
She
that's
and I are
what
gonna
I'm
have to
saying.
she and I are gonna have to talk about that because
Costco?
no, you leave it empty and you get wine that's actually good and like means
I
something and has
know.
like some sort of and you build it up over time. This is how collections work. You don't just go buy it at Costco. That was just steeped in judgment, by the way, but like I'm owning it.
She would appreciate that out of you. Oh, that's really funny. But yeah, she controls.
Also, she could have saved some money if that was her whole goal. She could have just gone to Trader Joe's. It would have been way cheaper than Costco. Just saying.
Listen, can't control her.
M-
She can't be control. She
No,
can't be tamed.
this is true. Oh,
Well,
friend, if you listen to this episode, just know that you are someday going to be a guest on this podcast, and we're going to unpack those things
yeah.
with you.
Yep. Yep. Well, you also mentioned seven in
Mm-mm.
this kind of like avoidance of feeling. And it's not, I don't think at least the sevens that I have in my life would disagree with this. It's a little bit of a high to avoid the feeling. Like you did something to make you feel good, to make you feel good enough that you come out of that not feeling the thing that you had gone in trying to avoid. Does that make sense?
Sort of. I think the way I think about it with sevens is because they're not avoiding all feelings, but they want to avoid all the bad feelings.
Yeah, they want the upper.
They want the upper. And so when they can navigate their way out of a bad feeling by cracking a joke or sending a meme or whatever, right? Then they
Mm.
get like a little it's like a little happy boost of like look at me, like I didn't sit in the mud down there. The other
Yep.
thing about sevens though in their avoidance of discomfort is that they are very motivated by this idea, at least most of the sevens I know are also very motivated by this idea of freedom. Freedom is very important to most sevens. And sometimes when they're avoiding uncomfortable things, they cover the uncomfortable thing with this, like, I'm going to escape it. I'm going to go be free and escape it.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's the I know I
Um,
have to have this tough conversation with a peer or a coworker, but I think I'm going to go on vacation next week instead of having that conversation.
which like to not to transition too quickly, but the three, I think in that situation would have the conversation because it's efficient, but have it in a way that's really like to the point, direct, get it over with.
Yeah. How do we get through this as quickly as possible
Hmm.
and avoid both their own feelings, but also they're trying to avoid the other person's? Like, how do we like, let's ninja this and we'll just call it fact. Yeah.
Hmm. God, I've seen some really cringy conversations with some threes I have in my life that are like that. As someone high in feeling, I'm like, oh my God, this is so painful. So painful.
They're like, no, look, I said everything I needed to
Yeah.
say in 5 minutes or less.
Yeah. And it's just like
And
this, like,
everybody's,
bleh. Like, just this,
yeah.
like, vomit of feedback is the couple of instances that I've seen where one of them I was at a dinner and I'm sitting there. We just got the appetizer. Like, I'm not leaving anytime soon. And I'm like, this was ill-timed because now, like in true 3 fashion, this person should have waited. It was too efficient just to say, yeah, you know.
Or do you think not that it was too efficient, but that they were in their own feeling. I need to say this thing, and I just want to get it off my chest because it's uncomfortable for me to sit with it right now. So I'm just going to like spew it all over this person because then I don't have to sit with it anymore.
Well, yeah, and then it turned into like this really weird like deflection denial thing, and because it was fact, right? Like fact, fact, fact. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you're missing a really big piece of it. But I kept my mouth shut. Switzerland. It was painful. Called my sister the second I left.
Is this 3 a family member?
No.
No.
So when my sister, like, we have a mutual acquaintance, and I'm like, you will never guess. But I just had to sit. My sister's a 9. She's like, oh my God.
The 2 and the 9. Well, that might be a good transition a little bit to 9 cuz 9s are avoiding that. They'll just like they kind of go to sleep to those feelings to avoid the conflict.
One time I went to a music festival with my sister. A person got upset because we were gonna like pack it in a day early. I was like, I'm done with this. I'm good. I want to go home. My sister was like, it's fine, I'll stay. I'm like, you're not staying. You don't want to stay. Yeah, but she's really mad at me. Like, and she's mad at the rest of us. She's like, it's fine. I'm like, I will literally tie you to the roof of my car. You're not staying.
Similar conversation to Aaron. I was talking to him recently about a situation and he was like leaning all in his 8 like no, like if we're not going to do that, we don't have to do that, blah blah blah, and like it'll be fine and whatever. And then I'm like, yeah, except for then like this person will like ask you for a ride or something and you'll be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll give you a ride, it'll be fine. It's like you talk a
Hope
big
you used
game.
that voice when you told him to.
I did.
Oh yeah, it'll be fine.
I did.
I can hear the look on his face. You know what I mean? Like I can hear it. Oh no. But it's so
He's pretty good
true.
about, I mean, yes. I was like, such a people pleaser.
It's so true. Imagine me me and my 9 sister in a home of chaos. It's like a ping pong ball. We're just we're just there watching
Yeah.
ping pong.
Both of you in your own way, just trying to hold down. Yeah.
Yeah. My sister's like replaying a movie in her head. Meanwhile, I'm like, that's a feeling. That's a feeling. That's a feel. Whoa.
I think.
God.
All right, let's just really quick. Who have we've done 2, 5, 3.
6,
We need to do
4.
6. 1.
6, 4, 1. Yeah.
We might make it through all 9. Every time I say that, we
See?
also end up making it. Yeah. And we didn't leave 9 for last, so 9s.
Yeah. 9s.
Okay, so 6s. I think 6s are avoiding uncertainty.
Yes. The
Yep.
unknown.
And I think every number has like, I think people in general dislike uncertainty.
Well, sure.
But 6s, yeah, 6s take it to a whole other level in terms of how much they dislike it and how they want to be prepared for every situation. But I think and we talked about this with Brandon when he was here, right? No, oh, no, I take it back. I don't think we talked about it on the podcast with him. He and I talked about it separately about like the goal is for you to build the capacity to hold as much uncertainty as you can. And if you can increase your capacity for uncertainty, you ultimately will like live a freer, more like happy, fulfilled life.
Very profound and very accurate. I
Yes.
many a session with Brandon. He's like, well, what's the worst that could happen? I'm like, fish, buddy, I let me roll up my sleeves here. Got a list. How wild do you want it? You want aliens or do you want like someone could hate me? That's uncomfortable.
Which would be worse?
Which one is more realistic?
That someone could hate you?
Like lens one, lens two. Lens one, in any situation, aliens come and invade the earth and it's terrible. Lens two, I don't take my kid to this birthday party he's supposed to go to on Friday, and the mom is like, God, she RSVP'd, how rude.
You think the mom actually gives a shit?
I mean, I don't know. God, that's a whole other thing. I was going to talk to you about that today, and then I forgot. It's been on my mind. It's a whole thing. Stressed out about it. I talked to Landon about it right before I got on here, and I was like, what do we do about this? He's like, he's not going. And I'm like, I'll give you her number.
And you know what? She probably is like, oh, thank God, one less kid.
I know. I just feel guilty. So in any case, a worst case
Anyway.
scenario can happen, and that is very uncomfortable for a thinks like a six, like myself.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable. I've suffered through my dog's death like 10 times already, like this week, and he's fine.
Well, you don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So what, like, let's not suffer twice. Although I did have a very six moment yesterday with Aaron because of going on this trip. And so Aaron and I, we don't have kids. We just have the two dogs. But normally the people who dog sit for us, they're not going to be able to because they're going to be with us on this trip. And so I had this like very six moment. This is a little off topic. Sorry, we needed another rabbit hole in this podcast tonight. But my sixth moment was, I was like, Aaron, if something happens, nobody will know where our dogs are or what to do with them. Like I have not
Are you
communicated.
thinking
I
about
don't
this
tell.
because of like all the things that are in the news about airplanes? Is that why you're thinking about that?
Yes. Yes.
That's fucking wild. You're a five. Look at the ratio. Like how many times?
I know, but it was like this whole thing about like what would if something happened to us, we are each other's emergency contact. Our other like backup emergency contacts are on the trip with us.
Just let
What
me
would happen?
know. The contact,
How am
I
I going
got
to
him.
let you know?
I will know your plane goes down, obviously. The reason I
Okay.
asked about your flight information is so I could track it. I'm a two.
I can just share my location. So then if it just
Hey,
disappears.
listen, say less. I'm gonna put a freaking air tag on you pretty soon. Somebody's got to worry about you.
But like to the whole thing of like sixes, I had this like whole like if something happened, like I don't have a will. Like I don't think about these things ever. I don't have a will.
I think about this shit every day of my life.
Nope. I only think about it when I'm gonna fly across an ocean.
Every time I
Apparently.
get into a car.
No, nope. So it's a very brief six moment. I think it was worse probably when I was younger, but to that whole idea of like it's the uncertainty of it. Like, well, if this and this and this were to happen to us on this trip, there'd be nobody to take care of the dogs. What would happen to the house? Who's gonna work that out? Is somebody gonna like who's gonna call my mom? Like who's gonna even know?
You bring up a good point, though. Think of all of the mental capacity and emotional capacity I would have if I weren't thinking about crazy shit like that every 5 seconds of my life. Keegan hit his head at basketball camp tonight. I was like, oh my God, he's going to have a seizure in his sleep. It's wild. Think of how much more capacity I would have if I weren't worried about things that are unreasonable.
A lot, because I don't think about it very often.
A lot. I would know a lot more things.
I think that's where for me it's like I logic myself out of those things to your point, right? Like look up the statistics of how often things happen, whatever, blah blah blah. And like, okay, yes, you could do all of that, but I think about that like when you're like Keegan hit his head, he's gonna have a seizure in his sleep. I want to be like, how many times did you hit your head when you were a kid?
Oh, I know. Like, and listen,
all the
there's no
time.
goose egg. There's like nothing.
Yeah.
Granted, I didn't see it because I was wrangling the other child. But I went
Might
over
not have
to
even been
I
like
went over to another mom and I was like, was it bad? She's like, it was pretty hard. I'm like, yeah, okay. Oh, great. Another
Just
thing to
make it.
worry about.
You just send him out to the world with a helmet.
Just a yeah, like a hamster wheel, like that plastic.
Bubble boy.
Yeah. Yeah. He needs it.
Okay. All right. We got to do fours.
Fours and fours.
Fours and ones.
Fours are avoiding
Fours.
feeling like the rest of us.
Yeah. Like it's so important. They just they don't want to feel normal. I don't even know if that's it. I don't want to say it that way because I don't think it's that they don't want to. It's like they won't allow themselves.
You think they want to some extent, but they feel like they can't because they're unique? Let's flip that on its head for a second. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
you've experienced something that makes you feel angry. Four will get stuck going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? In that emotion. And no one could possibly understand that. I don't want to feel that, but no one could possibly understand.
Yeah. Do you think too? So this is like thinking about fours. Hector, if you listen to this, let us know. But do you think fours are, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Like I'm thinking about the story I told you like about the four who like if somebody asked her about her outfit when she was in high school, she would lie to them and tell them like a different, not the store she got it from, but a different one because she didn't want them to go shop at the same store where she got the outfit. I was thinking about that and like this sort of like if they have been brought up to believe that like their only value comes from their uniqueness, that somehow the avoid like they're like I have no value in the world if I'm not unique and special. And so are they like avoiding anything that could be perceived as normal, including normal feelings? I
Maybe.
don't know.
I think about it from, I'm convinced my niece is a four because I've had this debate with my sister before where like she feels things so deeply, like so deeply. And I've asked my sister, I'm like, do you like play into it? Like what do you, she's like, no, I just let her feel it, but I try to explain. And how do I think about, like, she used to get really upset. Like, she would wear this, she liked one of these sequins shirts that she had that, like, you swipe it one way or whatever, and it turns into
Yeah.
something, right? This kid at school, like, kept her shirt and, like, oh, I love your shirt. I love your shirt. And then she started wearing shirts that had that. My niece was like, never wear it again. Like, she'll never wear it again. And she didn't like the attention that she got for wearing it. So go with me on that journey for a
Definitely
second.
not a 3.
Definitely not a 3. No, not a 3. Does not care about winning. Does not care about none of that. She's like, go sports. I don't know. Like she's very indifferent. She likes dance. Okay? So it wasn't the attention thing is where I was going with it. It wasn't like, okay, she's been given so much attention for being unique or having a strong feeling or have like she's not getting extra attention, but when she did, she associated it negatively. So I don't know if it's like you're still loved if you're not unique, but maybe because maybe she came home, right? And she's like, I don't want to wear that shirt anymore because this person wears it. And I make it up. My sister's like, oh, okay, I understand. Like, it's good to be different, right? Like,
Yeah.
reinforce it.
Well, and it's very hard to know like what is the thing that your sister could have said that does reinforce it even if she didn't intentionally do it.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things when we talk about that early childhood development, we're talking about it through like the unconscious absorption of kids. And so they might attach to something that you 100% had no intention of reinforcing in them. And you have no control over how they decide to interpret what you do, which is terrifying, isn't it?
Oh, it's brutal.
Because you could put
Like,
forth all of the best effort and still have a kid that interprets like, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I do think just based on the way you talk about her, it sounds like very four. It'll be interesting to see as she gets a little older if it holds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe even in the just being allowed, even for your sister to be like, I just allow her to feel through it, that could just be the thing that's reinforcing it too. Right. And
She's
I don't think that's
doing that.
unhealthy.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
doing that intentionally because she's a 9.
Yeah.
She's like, I want her to feel safe having the opinion, having the emotion, have it like she leaves a lot of space for like these really big feelings, reactions, so on and so forth. I
Okay.
also have been trying to 7 the shit out of my kid this week. Keegan's like been making these really cool little creations out of these little puzzle pieces, and it's actually wild. Like, I don't know how he sees it in his head and then he does it, but it's crazy. I'm like, you are so creative. Oh my God. Like, that's amazing. And I've just been gassing him up about it all week. So now he's doing it all the time. I'm like, yeah, want to be a 7? We still got time.
I go back and
Ones?
forth with him the way you talk about it. Yeah. So ones, let's talk about ones. I think ones, there is also a little bit of, I mean, at the very, very like base of everything for ones is not dissimilar from nines, but what they're really avoiding is anger. It is not okay to show up as angry. And so they're avoiding that, like showing up as angry. And they're avoiding anything that they perceive could have them show up in a way that like paints them as not good enough. I read a thing, and I'm going to butcher this quote, but I read a thing where it was like, what if ones allowed themselves to be good enough rather than perfect? And I was like, the delta between good enough and perfect, right? I don't know if like what would be in that for them, but I just think like if you're constantly afraid that showing up angry is going to make you look bad or make you appear a certain way, like it's okay to be angry or it's okay to be sad or it's okay to have a feeling. Like you don't have to be perfect.
Well, one that you and I both know, I tried to get this out of him last week where I called him and I was like, I need to have a moment and I'm really fucking pissed. And like I'm 8 in that moment, right? Like I am in stress, I am 8. And I'm like, match my energy. And he's like, well, let's think about this for a second. I'm like, I want to,
Like, no, crash out with me.
no, no.
Yes.
Don't you want to throw a tantrum with me? That would be bad. So no,
No.
no. I appreciate him because it pulls me out of the muck. Pulls me out of the muck. He makes me more mature. I appreciate that. It's, I'm growing, I'm learning, but he will just like give me this really calm rationalization of like, well, have you tried blankety blank blank? And I'm like, no, I haven't tried anything because I'm angry. I'm in the anger phase. Try something when I've calmed down. I'm not calm. Then he did get me through it and I was better on the other side. And then I sent him a message. I'm like, hey, thanks for letting me crash out, even though you didn't match my energy. Do better next time. I don't know.
Sometimes I think for ones, in that avoidance of the anger, in the avoidance of appearing angry, maybe he wasn't actually angry, didn't want to like go down, fine. But what I'll say
I
is
think
that,
anything makes him angry, to be fair.
well, no, I've heard him talk about how, he's working on it at home and things like that.
Okay.
So I think that, but part of it is when you let people into all of you, including when you're angry, including when you're sad, including when you just like need to have a minute to like process through something, when you let people see that side of you and you like let them have that human experience with you, you actually like create really amazing connections, and people then look at you and they're like, "Oh, he's a human or she's a human, not a robot." Like, "Oh, she does have feelings under there or he does have feelings under there." Rather than like just kind of covered with the I can't share this because it would not be good if I shared this.
Yeah, and a little selfishly, like I show him that side of me so then he knows when he's supposed to check in on me. Hey, just so you know, these things trigger me and I need you to come ask me if I'm okay. Thanks. Like he's just so controlled all the time. Like I hope he listens to this because then I've told him this before. Like when I'm trying to read his face, I'm like, I can't tell. Like, are you annoyed? He's like, no, thanks for asking that though. I appreciate the way that you asked me that. You don't need Botox. Your forehead stays the same.
What is
He's
his little inside out person doing at that moment where he's
oh, like
completely
what's
stoic?
anger doing in there?
What's anger doing in there?
I feel like anger
Or
is
sadness or
reading the
whatever.
newspaper. Anger's been out to lunch for a long time is what it reads like.
Well, you know what they say about like the anger that you don't allow yourself to feel? It becomes resentment. So, better to just like let that shit out.
That makes me feel better. I felt really emotionally immature in the moment, but I feel better now.
Okay. Hey, we did it. We made it through all 9 numbers. We rabbit holed several times.
Kind of. Not really. There was a
Yeah,
sprinkle of content in those rabbit holes.
rabbit holes. We'll see how much I edit out of this.
Hopefully
Um,
none.
hopefully none. It just, who knows? I might be doing it on the plane while I'm worried about who's going to take care of my dogs if something happens to the plane. What if I get stuck in Spain? What if I can't get back?
I don't think that will happen. There are worse places to be stuck.
There are. There are worse places to be stuck. And I found out today that another friend of ours is also in Spain right now. So, like, push comes to shove, I could
Oh,
probably be
wow.
like, hey, I need some help.
That's great.
Anyway,
Okay.
before we go down another rabbit hole, yeah, anything you want to
No,
close out on avoidance?
this was fun. I think
Yeah.
sometimes to the vibe of this podcast, like laughing at yourself through what you're trying to avoid, maybe is a good first step. But the growth will come from the discomfort of experiencing the things you are avoiding. Luckily, I have you for that.
On that note, we will close this out. If you made it to the end and you thought that there was any value in this whatsoever and you cared about what we said, please like, share, subscribe, follow. We're on all the platforms except for Facebook. And so the links for that will be in the description, show notes, etc. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I will talk to you later.
Have fun in Spain.
It'll be great.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.